So I think the first thing I'm going to do here is use Django admin to bootstrap my project and create the kind of default project scaffolding template for me. I've already installed this using pipx install Django. You can see what this will do is it will globally install the Django admin command line utility in my local bin. And what I can do is I can use this, if I press tab to autocomplete there, to start a project. I'm going to call this podcatcher. And if I cd into podcatcher and we take a look with tree, we can see it's created a default project directory for us, which has a few things. It's got a management file. If we look at this, it's just a simple Python executable script. If we actually try and run this, we'll notice that we can't run it because I don't have Django globally installed in my system. So the first thing I want to do actually is create a virtual environment. The way I like to do this is by using like a wrapper utility called direnv. So by using direnv, every time I cd into this directory, it activates the virtual environment. If I move out of it, it unloads or deactivates the virtual environment. You can see if I do ls direnv and do which Python, it's basically just created a virtual environment inside /direnv. So it would be equivalent to doing bin activate, but instead the wrapper automatically activates that for you, which is awesome. You can also see it there. So what I can do now is pip list. You can see it's a very Spartan bare bones installation, and I can then go and install pip. Once I've installed pip, I can install Django. So with that in place, I should then be able to do Python manage.py, run server. Here we go. Alright, now if we click this link, boom, we get the Django welcome page, which is great. And it's also giving me a warning message here saying you have unapplied migrations, your project may not work properly until you apply the migrations. So what we're going to do, I'm going to copy this. We're going to run those migrations. If we look here, it's actually created a SQLite database for us. So if we use SQLite 3, we can have a look inside here and see that it's created a number of different tables for us. We can see that the migrations table has been populated with a few of these initial migrations that it's applied. So each of these migrations is probably creating the tables themselves. Yeah, another tool that I like to use here is Light CLI, which is like a nicer wrapper with autocomplete and like syntax highlighting, which is great. You can also use SQLite browser, which I have on my machine. So I do code podcatcher this thing. You can see here I can browse all the data and look inside Django migrations. Cool. So that is the kind of default setup. And the final thing I want to do whilst I'm just getting started is create a super user, and I just need to quickly find the password that I normally use off screen here. Localhost, boom, boom. We actually have a look in podcatcher URLs. We can see that by default it does give you an admin site, so we're going to create a super user to be allowed to log into the admin site. So I go in here and go to /admin. Oh, it's remembered the password for me. We can see, great, we are now in the admin. We click on users, we can see my root user here. We go in here, I think maybe don't need to refresh, and look in auth user. We can see the same user here, the password has been hashed. Great, it's got my username, password. So it's just multiple ways you can explore the database. So I think that is a nice place to end this video. In the next video we'll look at making a default app and fleshing out some of the models.